Welcome back to Shem's Universe. So I'm going to do a video today that a lot of people have been asking me about through DMs, through comments on my page just in general. Let me wind this up. Yeah, comments on my page just in general. And I think it's very important to actually cover it. And it's about life path 9s specifically. And I would also go as far as to say that this can actually broaden as well to birth number 9s as well. So people born the 9th, 18th, 27th. This can extend to you guys as well. And the reason I say this is because 9 energy is very, very particular. And there's things about it that you should know of why it's considered so pure, why it's something that a lot of people are gatekeeping right now, and why it's just this big phenomenon, especially going into a 9-year next year. This is why they don't want you to know it. So here's the secrets, guys. If you're a 9 or a life path 9, you have a very rare ability to adapt to just about anything, and that's shown mathematically. So let's start off with that. And I know a lot of you guys will know this already, but I'm doing this for the people that have no idea, okay? So when you add anything to the number 9, it becomes that number. 9 plus 1 is 10, equaling back to 1. 9 plus 2 is 11, equaling back to 2, technically. You get what I mean? So when we look at that, we start realizing that that goes until infinity, right? So the 9 has this very, very peculiar ability to adapt to any number. That's what that shows us mathematically. The next thing is when you multiply anything to 9, that becomes 9. So the idea of another 9, Bruce Lee, November 27th, I believe it was 1946, when he discussed being like the water in a philosophy speech, he said that water can flow or can crash. He's talking about his own energy, which is the 9. It can flow, meaning like with addition, it can just add on and be sort of like one with other people, or it can crash and take over. Mine is a hidden command number because of that. People born the 18th are going to be the most aggressive. People with life path 18 are going to be the most aggressive as well, for sure. People with regular life path 9 will be very solid in their mind and body, very militant. People born the 27th or have life path 27 will be very gentle, but have a lot of psychic clairvoyant abilities. And people born, or not, I can't even say born, nobody's born 36, but people with life path 36 over 9 are going to have a very, very powerful manifestation ability that other people will not seem to understand, but they sort of kick off doors and get what they want. This is shown in the Chaldean tablets as well. So having said that, this number, the first thing you have to know about is that it has, the secret is that it has extreme adaptability, meaning no matter where you put a 9, it will become its environment or take it over. So it's very important, if you have a child that's a 9, or you understand that you know somebody around you that's a 9, that you try to get them on a positive polarity as soon as possible, because if you don't, very similar to the 11, they can amplify their environment and cause it to get more and more negative. They're very good at adapting. I'd say that the 9 is actually better than the 11 at adapting, whereas the 11 will just amp up whatever it's around. It's like lightning, right? The 9 will actually adapt, it'll figure it out, it'll think. Aside from the 7, the 9 is also the second smartest number. So when it comes to genius, we always look at the 7 as being the philosopher, the genius number. Number 9 is right there as well. If not, I'd say equal. I think 7 sometimes, I'm a 7, so I'm not even going to be biased. I think 7 sometimes can be a bit too like mythological, like they can just daydream and wander off too much. And that's the effects of Kie to the South Node of the Moon, where we just daydream and we start mystifying the world. Whereas 9s are very like solid, very grounded, very detail oriented, and they'll look at it from an ideological perspective of what sort of ideology do I have and how do I use that frame to then think and navigate throughout the world. So 9s are very, very stubborn. They're very steadfast. They understand what they know, and they're going to try to tell you how to think as well once they understand a subject in-depthly. All right. So if you are a life path 9 or birth number 9 listening to this, your first secret, I'm going to go over it again before I get into the second half of this video, is that you have extreme adaptability and you're extremely smart. Don't let anybody tell you that you don't have those two things. You guys are very, very smart. The reason behind your power now is the 9, when we look at the Chaldean tablets especially, is actually considered to be the first reincarnation. So you see how like we'll discuss people that have been here prior times and blah, blah, blah. It's rumored that the 9 is actually considered to be the first reincarnation. So because of that, you have pure God's light on you and you're fresh from what we call the heavens. So because of that, you have a very enhanced ability to manifest the way God would. I'm not saying you guys are God, but you have that sort of demigod ability, the same way the master numbers do. If you haven't watched my video on master numbers, watch it. That was from yesterday. And you'll start realizing that they have the similar abilities to the 11, 22, and 33. Nines are like the biggest rivals, especially to the 11, because 9 and number 2 are enemies. So the 9 will be able to, how do I put this? They'll be able to manifest in a way that almost seems like you would think that they couldn't get something done. It seems impossible, but they can still get it done because it's just them. Their energy, their number, Mars, that force of energy will actually get things done for them. All right. And in case you guys don't know, your governor is Mars. So that's a fiery planet. It's an aggressive planet. It's militant. It can be humanitarian, but it's very aggressive about worldwide influence. So that's the thing with 9. I wouldn't call it a humanitarian number. I'd call it a worldly number because of its adaptability, because of its voraciousness, because of its courage, because of its intelligence. You guys are worldwide influencers. Here's 2 examples of 9s who are worldwide influencers that everybody will know. Mother Teresa and then Pablo Escobar. 2 different sides of the coin, but nonetheless, they both had a very big influence on the world that we know today. Right? One was for peace, the other one was for violence and money and all of the above. The first Rockefeller was also a life path 9, very aggressive man, a big John D. Rockefeller. So like when you start looking at 9s in the history of them and start looking at notable people that have that number, what you'll notice is unlike the number 1 that's very like forefront, like an Andrew Tate type, like, yeah, it's me, I'm rich, I have 65 cars, I have a Bugatti, blah, blah. You'll have a 9 like a John D. Rockefeller or a Pablo Escobar. If you watch Narcos, Pablo Escobar was always just in a polo, plain cargo pants or some khakis, whatever. He wasn't that forefront boss. Like of course, like everybody knew, like if you F around with his cartel, you're dead. But he was more of that low key type to be the boss from behind. And it's the same thing with John D. Rockefeller. He was that boss from behind, very cunning, very shrewd businessman, and everybody knew not to screw around with him. And everybody knows now when we talk about the elites and all conspiracies, it goes back to that man. That's who kind of started this whole thing. When you look at the Illuminati, all of this stuff, right? So the 9 is a very hidden command number, and it has a worldwide influence that a lot of people overlook. 9 can change your whole reality. If 9 people are around you, I mean 9 individuals as in a person born with 9 energy, not 9 people as a whole quantity. When you have somebody with that 9 energy around you, they'll be able to change the sequence of events. If they say something's going to change, it most likely will change. They can call things into the future. They can think things into the future, and they can just do things that are going to bring about a new future. But their main thing is their thoughts and their words. So if you're a 9, whatever you think and then say out loud, and you have the courage to say it, you probably will bend reality just with that, let alone if you use the law of action and correspondence on your side. Karma is going to shift in your favor for sure, and you're going to get it done, whether this is for good or bad. I'm like an intelligence arms dealer, guys. What I do is I give you the intelligence to do with your number. You can use it for good or for evil. That's beyond me. It's not my business. The 4th dimension, other dimensions will judge you based off that in the afterlife. So you have to make your choice. But nonetheless, the number 9 is very, very capable of having a huge influence the same way the master numbers are. So people, if you have that number, understand you're meant to have a worldwide influence, understand you're meant to be in command, but understand that you're meant to be in command in a different way where it's like you could be like a private advisor to the king, the counselor to the king. You can be somebody who's in a company that runs it, but you don't have that CEO position, but nonetheless you have the influence. So if I was a number 9 person, I'm not, I'd read things like 48 Laws of Power. I'd read things like The Prince. I would read things like 33 Strategies of War. All of these things are things that you guys should be reading to strategize your mind so that you can have more and more influence. 9 is a secret command number, so you need to look at what career you're going to get into and how you can take control of your whole environment, because that's what you guys are naturally meant to do. You guys are monsters in that way. And if you actually really delve into the energy and the essence of your number, you're going to find that you have a lot more success. If you want to enhance your number as well, this is my last glitch or secret for the number 9s. You want to use ruby, as that reflects the Martian energy that you have, or you want to use amethyst, as that's going to help your psychic clairvoyance bring about better manifestation. So it's going to open up your 3rd eye pineal gland and also your crown chakra. And that's going to help you with just manifesting things or getting more downloads from the universe that you can incubate and then create new realities with it. So either use ruby for brute force, or if you want to have more of a abstract mind to get better ideas, use amethyst. All right. If you have any questions at all for me, guys, just leave something in the comment section for me. I hope I didn't miss anything when covering this video. Like, subscribe, holla me. It's it for today, guys. Peace.